All right, we're here again with my new friends, James and Phil. A little background first. James, can you just give us a little background on your store and what your role is?
My role is general manager at Mercedes-Benz of Plano, right outside of Dallas. Basically, role is everything, managing from
Yeah, we get it.
Variable,
we got it.
everything.
It's
So,
all
yeah.
on me.
Yep.
Yep, I'm the throat that gets choked if
Yep.
something is wrong, anything at all. Phil, give us a little background on yourself and the company.
Yeah, my company is Richtech Robotics. I'm the chief operating officer here. Our role in the industry right now is rolling out very innovative robotic solutions targeted specifically to support dealerships in increasing efficiency and really alleviating a lot of the issues that some dealerships have with labor and with some problems with throughput and things like that. So we're really excited to be here, and also with James and you to kind of dive into the products.
So, robotics is a growing conversation. Mm-hmm. I think even if it was 5 years ago, maybe even less than 5 years ago, when people said robotics, you think that's for manufacturing plants and something that is not actually inside my store or practical to use. Yep. That paradigm is shifting very, very quickly as all of this new technology is hitting the market in a very accessible way. When did you start to actually consider some sort of robotic solution that might help you? Were you ever like, no, that's not for me?
No.
Okay.
So we were trying to find a solution. There's a big pain point on turnover. We have a pretty large shop. We have 100 bays, so it's bigger than most Costco's. So from getting one tech to the back counter and stuff to get a part and stuff, you're creating a lot of inefficiencies. So I vamped up a lot of different parts runners, added more and more and more. And then the turnover was unreal.
Right, because entry-level position, right, but a highly critical position.
It very.
Or else everything slows down and you have expensive techs taking long walks.
Yep.
Right, which is the worst.
Yep. And, our turnover was up to 15 employees per year. And last year was actually our best turnover in all of our group for any position.
So you say 50 employees in just parts runners?
Yes.
How many do you employ at any time?
We lump parts runners and warehouse together.
Okay, and how many people work in those two areas?
Well, now we don't have any parts runners.
What did you, though?
We had up to 7.
Okay, so that means high turnover.
Yes.
Like multiple times a year.
Yes.
Okay, so you said there's got to be a better way, right?
And it was frustrating because they didn't appreciate working there.
Everyone's
the
unhappy.
Didn't appreciate them.
Everyone's unhappy, right? Because when someone is not doing a good job or have no desire, it really does like tank the culture really quickly, and nobody's happy. And so, when did you come across like any robotic solution? Period. Like when did you start even understanding that could be an option?
Just kind of seeing them in the restaurants, and kind of came up with an idea and reached out to Richtech, and a lot of collaboration stuff between us, and came up with the solution. And I mean, it's worked out awesome. When
you say in the restaurants, what are you talking about?
You see them in Chili's, you see them in different restaurants and stuff. So you're kind of watching them go back and forth, and you're like, well,
that's not common in most of the country.
I know,
but you had the benefit of seeing it.
Yes.
And you were like, and so you initially started in the hospitality field?
Yeah.
With robots?
Yeah, we actually, our main core competency until recently working in this industry was in hospitality. That was senior living, restaurants, hotels, casinos, you name it, dine-in cinemas, all those kind of things. And we still do a lot of hospitality. We still work in hospitals and providing those solutions and things like that. But really, automotive has been a huge game changer for us. We see a lot of really high impact potential where value is almost asymmetrical in terms of how much the investment is into the technology. And that's really where I think me and my leadership really saw an opportunity for us to bring a lot of value to the automotive side.
So what areas, just explain how it works. How is it working for you? So we used to have parts runners, they weren't happy, we weren't happy, and now we have robots who always show up for work and they're always ready to go. What is the actual
they don't
process?
Call in sick, they work overtime.
Right. No labor laws, none of that stuff. So how do you implement them into your process?
You really have to focus on getting a buy-in. That was kind of the toughest part, getting everyone to buy in. They were using it, then they weren't using it. Once I made it was unacceptable not to use it. Parts got in, we got some buy-in, and then the robot went down. I must have had 20 technicians banging on my door. When is the robot coming back?
They love the
And
robot.
it was like, oh my goodness. So you can tell it made an impact, and that's when we knew we were on something.
So what does the robot look like? Is it just one?
We have multiple.
Okay.
We have 2, and we're about to get 2 more.
Okay. And so does the robot have a name?
Yes. We put a poll on the first one. The first one is Rosie, and then the second was M2-D2.
M2-D2?
Yeah.
Does the staff like decorate the robots?
We've had all kinds of crazy stuff. We have little eyeballs on one. During Christmas, we had a Santa hat and decorated
There
it.
might be some options there.
Yeah.
Customized appearances?
Yeah. We also have music. We have Christmas music on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Playing from the actual robot?
Yes.
Okay, so when you said automotive, you see so much opportunity. Now, when I think hospitality, hospitals, right? Very large industries with a lot of opportunity. But what is it about the auto industry that is attractive for robotics or your product specifically?
I mean, robots love repeatability. Love just environmental similarities and operational similarities. So what we really like to do is really flesh out a workflow and replicate that in a way that's we really focus into our workflow, make it reliable, make it work well, design products specifically for that workflow, and then be able to scale that out. And automotive really lets us do that, especially in the service side. In hospitality and things like that, everyone's restaurant is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Everyone's restaurant maybe has square
different process.
tables,
The fryers are in different spots. The windows
buildings
are different. Spots.
The manufacturers, the elevators are different. All kinds of different problems. Hospitals are like unique monsters, each one of them.
Right. When if you have a Mercedes dealership, right, like the parts and service, there are only so many configurations it's going to work in, and a lot of very similar variables.
And the biggest thing for us was not just that practicality for us to implement robotics; it was the value it could bring, right, in the dealership.
Very quantifiable, right?
Very quantifiable.
Hours being produced from bays.
Exactly.
Can we watch that metric and improve it?
Correct.
Okay, so tell me about how it works. You have a technician, they're working on a car, they need a part. Take it from there.
Or
maybe that's too simple.
Well, it's evolved. So with the robot and the efficiencies that it's created, it's allowed me to put my parts guys into the shop. So I took my fixed ops director thought I was crazy, but I wanted my 3 top parts guys put in the shop. He's like, no, you want to keep those on the back counter. I was like, no, I want them in the shop. So we put them in the shop. So now they're watching everything because, let's say you need a head or something. Well, a tech might put a request for a head, not knowing you need gasket, the fluids and all that and stuff. And then if the tech doesn't catch it and stuff, then you're creating inefficiencies going back and forth.
Another trip.
So now they're right there helping them, and you would not believe the camaraderie that it creates between the tech and parts when a lot of times they work well together, but
it's a contentious relationship. And very similar to restaurants, right? It's the front of the house, back of the house, and that happens at several places in dealerships, right? Sales and service and parts is another one, right? Because there's like, no, you were wrong, no, you were wrong, right? And everyone takes a lot of pride in what they do and knowing their job. So we're doing this together, I need you to help me figure this out. And then, so the parts guys out there, they're roaming the floor, they're making sure the parts orders are right. And then what happens?
Well, so we basically put it on the ends of the shop, and so one guy has 2 teams, another guy has 2 teams, and this guy has 2 teams. So they're working with the teams and stuff, collaborating, making sure they're getting the right parts. If windshields, bumpers, big pieces, obviously the warehouse is bringing out and stuff, but there's a lot of communication. And I'll tell you one thing, if there's any delay on a part, the first person to freak out, like why the part's not there, is the parts guy now instead of the technician.
And so wait your turn, right?
They have buy-in.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then the robot doesn't pick it, right? They're handpicked.
The warehouse is picking it and dropping it off, and they'll do multiple stops at one time. So
they drop it. Give me a little more detail. They drop it off where?
So literally, they will take a bunch of different pick tickets, throw it on each shelf and everything, and then go, hey, you're going to bring it to this bay, this bay, this bay. So it's going to go drop it off at bay number 42. Then it's going to go to bay number 55, and then bay number 87. They're going to click come back, comes back, does the same thing over and over to different bays.
And so now you have 2, but that wasn't enough.
We were trying it, and obviously we're working on different things that we can do more and more of it. So
what is? I know I'm asking questions quickly. I want to make sure we get all the information. What does implementation look like from the moment a dealer says, I think I'm interested in deploying some of this tech in my store? what do they do? Is there an assessment first?
Yeah, so we do a light assessment. So we get some pictures of the space. We have them answer some questions on the questionnaire. But really, implementation is extremely easy. What we typically do right now is we bring the robot out to a dealership. Now this is a little bit different when James got it, really early on. We figured things out since then. But we've gotten down into a deployment within 4 to 5 hours at a dealership about 40 bays, something like that. We put down zones, we do training, all within that 4 to 6 hour range.
So one day?
Yeah, one day, half a day. Yeah.
Light assessment and then one day, half a day install.
Yep.
And then that's happening. I mean, obviously you have to train the people then. That takes longer than one day.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, there you go.
It really doesn't. We opened it up with one team.
Yep.
Then we rolled it out with another team.
Yep.
And within 2 hours, we're like, okay, put on 13, 14, 15. Like,
it roll
it was
right
just
out.
so easy. Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, that's amazing. Look, I get excited to see all that stuff. I really love watching this technology being deployed. I'm looking forward to seeing the future and how many more dealers can get this. And I'm looking forward to seeing pictures of your robots when they're all decorated.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
James, Phil, thank you so much for giving us a few minutes and being such great collaborators that are helping moving us all forward.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.